Good afternoon, YouTube. Home Theater Joe here, and I am happy to see y'all. It feels like it's been forever. A couple of maybe few quick updates for you before we get into today's touchy discussion of OLED image retention and screen burn-in. Number one, I did have a pair of Polk RC60Is delivered to the house, and they showed up today, so be looking out for that. Number two, there has been an awful lot of discussion, as there should be, on when to return an OLED, a brand new OLED, and hopefully in the very near future, we in this community will be able to test and go over all those topics, real time, real world usage, real world results. Third and final, sometime over the holiday weekend or at the beginning of the week, I'm not sure when, this community blew past 200 subscribers. Thank you all very much. It's very humbling and it is very appreciated. All right. I guess we're ready. Let's get into it. Boom. All right, my friends, let's discuss this really scary incident that I went through on Labor Day, Monday, Labor Day, and how I ended up in that scenario. I'd also like to discuss how you could possibly avoid it. And we're going to end up at the end of this in a very taxing situation for the display. As you may or may not know, in this community, we pride ourselves on real world usage, real world content review, and everything that comes with that, the good, bad. We're not here to shill for LG, even though I love my OLEDs, my LG OLEDs, I should say. So let me start from the beginning. It's Monday. We decide, Labor Day, we decide, since we have the extra day off and school starting the next day, that we will just have a lazy couch day. And I'm always up before everyone, so I am up super early already. Well, I should say finishing up some testing I was running with bit depth on the Xbox One X. So the display is pretty much at work from, I don't know, 7 a.m. in the morning. Around 11 o'clock, noon, we decide to watch an incredible film, which is going to have its own standalone. But this, my friends, I believe is where the trouble may have began. So here we have a copy of, I'm not sure if you can see that, Heavy Metal. I will say this. If you think your display is accurate, if you think you've got it dialed in and you want to throw some test material at your display, I give you Heavy Metal. Yeah, not HDR, not any crazy crap like that. This one right here is taxing. Anyway, we're going to do a separate standalone on this. But, so we are at this point testing, having some fun for a few hours. Then we flip in Heavy Metal. Sometime later, hours later, we're all still just hanging out, watching content. And then I discover for the first time, what's the game called? Rocket League. So, I don't know. After playing this game for about an hour, now we're getting late into the night. We're probably around 9 p.m. I need to start thinking about getting the kids to bed and everything. And I get a crazy message on my display, which I've never seen before. And it really caught me by surprise. And I'm going to paraphrase. I don't remember exactly what it said. But it basically told me this display is going to shut off and on, for the next 5 minutes for heat protection, or heat protection might not have been the word for. It didn't say image retention protection, but I got that impression. I was shocked. And then the TV just automatically cut off. So I'm playing with my friends. We're having a lot of fun. I got the headset on. And I'm not saying anything to them because I'm trying to read this message. And all of a sudden the TV shuts off. Well, we're in match. And I'm thinking, oh my Lord. So anyway, this whole crazy process goes on for a couple minutes. The display turns itself off. I keep turning it back on. This goes on for just a couple minutes, and I decide, hey, guys, look, I'm done for the night. Let me get the kids to bed. Boom. I'm out of here. So turn the display off and ran Pixel Refresher. I did forget to mention in that message, it said that the display will shut on and off for the next 5 minutes, yada, yada. And I just don't recall something about Pixel Refresher. So I ran Pixel Refresher. Fortunately, there is no damage done to my display. The point of this discussion is from sunup to well past, a few hours past sundown, I was taxing this display, being very, very hard on it. And for the first time since owning an LG C8 or C10, I got an error protection message. So I would like to go specifically here to the Xbox, and I'm going to show you guys real quick how I think you can keep from getting this message or seeing it. I think we need to be very careful with this game in particular. I think this game is very taxing on an OLED. I don't care if you have a Sony, an LG, a Vizio. I think this is what needs to be done. So, this game in particular, when I go to game, I'm in HDR, as you can see. I'm in HGig. First of all, I think that's a big distinction, and that's a totally different topic. But HGig, definitely not dynamic tone mapping, especially on this game. And if you'll notice here, I'm actually in warm 2. Now, when I game, I like to keep this guy, in medium, because medium is full dynamic range on your red, green, and blue pixels, right? 192 all the way down. For this game, I realized the other day, it really needs to be set back to warm 2. Warm 2 obviously is your most color accurate temperature. Now, another thing I'd like to point out that while I do use the Calman Home software, I can still change my color temperature because I don't actually run AutoCal. I know I always am kicking a dead horse. Sorry. So, that's the first thing that needs to happen. We need to kick this guy into warm 2, and we need to not run tone mapping, okay? Tone mapping is going to make it a little brighter. It's not really going to make it brighter. As a matter of fact, the spectacular highlight detail in HGig and dynamic tone mapping is exactly the same, okay? Dynamic tone mapping is just going to brighten the entire image. That's it. So HGig is definitely recommended. Going to do a video on just that itself as well. So HGig, and we go warm 2. Now this is just for Rocket League. Now, if we go down here to settings, this is what I noticed the day after, was that, and I'll go ahead and hit default real quick, but I noticed that the HDR peak brightness was set up at 1250. Now, I don't really know what that means, but I'm going to tell you my display is more like at 670. So that's what I'm going to set it at, 670. I'm guessing that's what they mean, okay? Because they say it right down here at the bottom, actually. Wow, just thought in nits. So for me personally, I'm back this down to 670. That's about where I'm at, and leave it there. But I think that will help you to keep from having a message that say I had. And if you play this game here for any amount of time in medium color space, color temperature, you're liable to have some problems. And listen, I was shocked when this happened. I am so hard on this display and my other display, my C8, that, I have so much confidence that these displays don't do, or of course they can do image retention, burn-in. But if I haven't managed to do that with my display, then honestly, I think it's a hard thing to do. You have to be very careless to do that. So I really hope that this information helped anybody, especially those of you that own an OLED, no matter what it is, Sony, LG, or Vizio. No matter what it is, I think that Rocket League is going to be very taxing on your display. And even though it might not pop up immediately, and maybe you don't get image retention or burn-in, these self-emissive OLEDs have a lifespan. And they get weaker over time. So the more you tax them, the earlier on you tax them, towards the end of the lifespan of the panel, the weaker they will be. The more off the gradation or the picture or the accuracy or the color will be. So the name of the game is to treat these panels well. Again, no matter what you have, LG, Sony, Vizio, OLED, treat them well and they'll treat you well. I think that's going to wrap it up. I've actually pushed this one a little bit too far. Sorry for the long form discussion and everything, but that's just the way it works sometimes. If you have any questions or comments, good, bad, or indifferent, please put them below. They are greatly appreciated, and the community just grows with every question and comment. So much appreciated. And I think we'll wrap this one up right there. As always, my friends, thank you for listening. Be good. Be safe. Boom.